Hey Mario Karters and Frenzy fans, welcome to our channel.
We've got a super fun special episode today because it's the Bowser Tour, and I've been saving up a bunch of resources, and what better way to know how to spend all of my resources than by consulting with a turtle dude and his amazing tools that he has for the Mario Kart Tour community. So, welcome to the episode of Turtle Dude. How you doing?
Thank you. Doing well. Thanks. All good. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, we're super glad that schedules were able to align and we were able to get you on an episode. And why don't you just real quick kind of tell people about kind of your history in Mario Kart Tour? Are you like a day one player? Do you have a specific favorite character? Like, what are some of your goals in the game? Just kind of real quick so people can get to know you.
Sure. I started playing 2020 in spring, so I think the Flower Tour was my first tour. Yeah, mostly with other friends that were playing during the pandemic, with other friends that were also playing Mario Kart, mostly multiplayer. And yeah, I played for like 6 months. Then I took a break. I got upset at some bad pipe luck, so I just rage quit. But after like 5 months, I came back, and since then I've continued playing for like the first year, mostly free to play, and since then Gold Pass only with just one pack. I bought the Goomba glider for my only top 100 run.
Nice.
And yeah, in parallel to that, I started also probably around beginning of 2021. Started on motivated by Reddit. People were there speculating what's the best way to cover. How many drivers do you need to cover every single track? Back then it was 17, and there had been some discussion, and I was thinking, oh, actually these sort of things is what I actually do for a living, some mathematical optimization. So I started writing some Python scripts to calculate this. That turned into my coverage optimizer, and then at some point when I did my first ACR for the top 1000, I actually had exactly that problem. I had been saving for a while, and then I didn't know how to save my tickets. In the end, I just did the best I could, but that frustration stuck with me, so that's how I got the idea to do something like the ticket optimizer, and yeah, that's how it all started. And then later on, I got getting the data was always difficult, like the buffs, and it always took a while. Originally, it was Hydra that provided it for the community. Then Hydra retired, it was Sam doing it. But sometimes it also took him like 1 or 2 days, and then all the tool maintainers were anxiously waiting, and all the players as well. And at some point, I actually managed to learn how to data mine that stuff myself. So I started providing these buffs on the first day of the tour, and so
so thank you for all of your hard work over the time span of a game, as well as just every tour. Like, there are so many people that they wake up and they're ready to go rip roaring for the tour, and if it weren't for people like you that give the information to all the spreadsheet people and for your tools, we'd all be lost and run around with our heads cut off for the first couple days. So we appreciate.
Yeah. Soon there won't be any more buffs, so it won't be as time critical, and but it's still, there are still a few.
Yeah, so I guess let's just go ahead and hop right in, if you don't mind. We'll go ahead and have you share your screen, and so let's kind of talk about, I guess, the process or the stages of how to be able to get your account information, so your inventory, to like some of these trackers.
Yeah, so the classical way to what everybody has been doing for years is to basically track every new purchase and every new pipe and every upgrade, and so try to always keep your sheet up to date or to take screenshots and so on. And it was some time ago. Sam 78 IT, the guy that created the toolbox, figured out something similar that Hydra had already done. I don't know if you remember the Hydra snapshot thing, where you would send him your thread code, and then he would give you an HTML file where you could see when did you acquire each driver, and which batch have you collected the most number of times, things like that. And that process actually, what Hydra didn't do was to provide the inventory, but it's a very, very similar part of the process, which involves basically hacking the game and being able to withdraw all your data from your friends' accounts. And yeah, so Sam built that into his MKT toolbox. And yeah, now there are tons of people, I would say several hundreds every tour that that just ask for a synchronization, and then the synchronization, you get a friend request from the toolbox, you accept, and then after a while it downloads all your data, and then you're free to use it. So should I share my screen to show how that works?
Yeah, and I feel like I've been living under a rock, because in our last episode I totally razzed both of you guys about it. I was like, the only reason why I don't do spreadsheets is because I don't have the patience to one, maintain it, but two, to enter in all the data every single time I want to know. And then Frenzy Fanboy's like, oh yeah, there's this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are lots of people in the community using it, but still not that many. I think, but often in Mario Kart Tour, what I've learned is many people are set in their ways, and they know one way to do things, and are not really interesting to learn more. And so
I don't know how to.
That's why I'm often not so pushy telling everyone to do it like this.
Right.
But yeah, it works. So here it's just a throwaway account I created. But so yes, you need some sort of email to create an account. It's not difficult. I mean, you can just use any email. Here I really used a throwaway email. Once you're in there, so the toolbox is huge. It has lots of things. But what we're interested in now is if you click on this, it takes you to your profile. And then here there is this synchronization tab, where you enter your player code, your friend code, you tick this import DKG, and then you just, actually I might as well do it now, I just click on request new sync, and then you can see here that it's sent. After this, sometime later, you'll get a friend request. If you accept the friend requests, then sometime later, you'll notice that the MKT toolbox is not longer in your friends, and then here you get a notification in the app, and then you can go. Well, first of all, you see in your inventory, you see all the drivers in the levels at which you have them. But you can also, so this is for using the actual toolbox, the actual toolbox capabilities. But if you're just interested in exporting it, you go to import wizard, BAM and gerbs, and then export, and then you have this. So you just copy, and you can then paste it into a spreadsheet, or you can put it actually straight into the ticket optimizer without going through any spreadsheets, if that's what you want.
So you sent me a CSV file. Did you just?
No, I basically copied this into an Excel file and then saved that as CSV. Okay. So, but you could also paste it straight into your anti-lev tracker, for example, and then you don't really need the CSV file. It's just convenient for sharing. I
just wasn't sure. If
and that's all.
I'd be looking for the export CSV file and being like, "Where is it?" I know TurtleDude did it.
No. That was just me manually. Okay. And yes, the whole process might take, depending on how much. So I do it all through this. So I have this. I also have to say this is originally developed by Sam, but he retired already half a year ago, before the anniversary, and I took over the maintenance of the toolbox, which implies that I have this jailbroken iPhone that is constantly plugged into my computer and running the game, and then making all the friend requests and removing them and uploading to the server and so on. So the whole thing only works when my computer is turned on and my phone is plugged into it, and so I try to do that every day while I'm working, but I turn it off on the night and so on. So it might be that you have to wait 12 hours, but sometimes the whole thing takes minutes if there's space. And also there's the bottleneck here. You can see the sync status, it's online, and there are 13 free slots, which means I've already sent it's already sent 37 or 36 friend requests, which are still waiting for someone for the players to approve them. And once that happens, there will be another slot here. And if sometimes on the first day of the tour, or if for several days I don't do a sync, I don't run this, then it accumulates and there are 150 requests waiting, and then it takes a bit longer because you cannot have the toolbox account cannot have more than 49 friends, same as everyone's. So yeah, that's all behind the scenes. It's not super relevant for the users, just in case anyone is curious.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I love it.
Can I just say this is brilliant? Like the amount of work that you have put into making this what it is, like it's next level. And if I knew more about it, I would take advantage of it more. But I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, the toolbox, it wasn't from me. I'm just running it now, maintaining it. All of this was developed by Sam. I only did the optimizers, and now I'm just keeping the toolbox alive and running this. But just
well, everyone who developed it and is running it is brilliant in my book. Yeah. So thank you for your dedication. The fact that you're like, my phone is permanently connected to my computer for this cause, like that's cool.
Once essentially you have that CSV or you've copied, all of your inventory, then you can move it into either like a tracker or the ticket optimizer or something like that. So I think we're sharing our screen now.
Which one do you want to be on?
Yeah, so are you seeing?
Yeah, I guess what I didn't say, but might be obvious to the people, is that this format is exactly the same one used by the BAM and Chirps trackers. So you can just copy paste this straight into your tracker, and that will work as well, even if you don't use the ticket optimizer. And it's the same format used by Ticket Time and by Larry's sheet and so on. So you can use it for every tool you like.
So we'll just go ahead and we're on a computer, obviously, but we'll just kind of do one of these spiffy little like Control Shift and use the arrow keys just to get all 839 rows to be highlighted, and then just Control Copy or whatever it is on Mac, Command pound 37QAC. Isn't that the command for copy on Macs?
Yeah.
Just kidding. Okay, so then you come over to, we actually tested this. You can actually just Google the words ticket optimizer, and this is the first thing that comes up as far as the hits in Google. So
it's really good SEO.
Yeah, so ticket optimizer .pythonanywhere.com will get you straight here, or if you just Google ticket optimizer, the first link that comes up, it should be this Python Anywhere link, and this is the interface. So if you have made a CSV file, then he's made it so that you can choose the file, but it have to be somewhere locally, either on your phone, your iPad, or your computer that you'd have to save it to, and it would bring up a pop-up window and you'd have to navigate to it and click it. What we're going to do though, and what I usually just do on my phone, is I just paste everything that we copied from the inventory over here. We just paste it in here, and it's super big and long. Sometimes I have to kind of like go back if I want to say that I actually don't have a specific item, or I want it to kind of focus on an item, kind of come back. But what we'll probably do is just do a find and change it here and then recopy. It'll be a little bit easier.
Yeah, it's not super user friendly, that part. I apologize for that. Also, I'm more into the algorithms and maths behind, but I have zero experience with web development, so that's why this page looks like a 5-year-old made it. But
no, I am not complaining.
No worries at all.
It is perfect.
It's as far as like all of the hardness levels of things, this is like so far down on the list.
Yeah.
So yeah, what you got to do is you got to put in your player level, and then you've got two different modes. You can either do the ticket optimizer for just ranked, and you can pick which ranked tours or what
which weeks basically. So I did it like that so that if you know already there's a week where you have amazing loadout, then you can exclude it because there's no point making that strong week even stronger for most people. But anyways, the main purpose, the original one was for ACR, and ranked started just now since we have the loop.
So you can click on ACR, and now everything kind of changes. So you can click which tour that you want to consider. All of the tours that are current and previous, all the way back to the anniversary, they're going to be pretty much set in stone because all of their buffs have been completed. But for the tours, for the next tour on until the anniversary, there's potential of some of the newer items that came towards the end of before we went into loop mode that they'll have buffs. And so there's a possibility that you might have something that will get a buff that will help you out. So that's why I kind of actually waited until we got into the Bowser Tour, because I didn't want to assume that like the Black Bee Mark II, I was like go all in on it, because if there didn't get any buffs, then I didn't want to like spend all my tickets on it beforehand, assuming that it was going to help me out. And spoiler alert, it doesn't help me out in the Bowser Tour. So so we'll go ahead and do the Bowser Tour, and then
maybe what you could do before you do that, maybe just click run on as it is now, because that will show you. Just scroll all the way down.
Yeah, okay.
That shouldn't take too long. And so sometimes when you enter tickets, it takes longer. But now if you just run it without any ticket counts, it will basically generate the, most importantly, the pre-fill for the DKR sheet. So it will just tell you with your current inventory as it is and with the latest buffs, what's the best thing to use on which track. So you can see it in a nice table, and then at the end you'll have the table that you can export into the DKR sheet.
Yeah, so it looks like we're...
Oh, yes.
So you have kind of these different tabs, and when you click on the tab, it'll show you the information, either your total score, your overview by courses, or your pre-fill for the DKR ACR sheet.
Is the total score based off of like 100% action count, or okay?
Yes. So, and that's, yeah. And the pre-fill for the DKR sheet, you can just copy the table again and paste it into the DKR. About this 100%, we'll talk about that later. There's something new I just built in. Yeah, so here you just can go back. Just wanted to show that sometimes also for people that just want to do ACR but don't want to invest. I mean, the ticket optimizer, like actually entering tickets only makes sense if you really want to maximize your score on that specific ACR. But if you're someone that does ACR 1000 every single tour, then you probably don't want to invest your resources on that specific tour. Then you probably want to use some other tool. But if you're one of those persons, then you can still do this calculation without entering any tickets, and then it's just your pre-fill for your current loadout. Now I see that it's selected ACR, but you still see the ranked weeks, so maybe there's a...
So I've noticed this on the phone too, that when you press back, it's...
Okay.
Okay,
then just swap again. Yeah.
Goes back to ranked, and so you actually have to toggle this.
Yeah.
Back to ranked.
Okay,
and go back.
Yeah, that's a bug.
But it does keep your ticket levels if you've entered, so you don't have to input your ticket levels.
So for those who don't follow our channel on a regular basis, one of the reasons why we're doing this episode is Frenzy Fanboy has been the ultimate hoarder of tickets. And so his situation right now is so unique, and I'm so excited to actually have this data. I feel like if you have like 5 or 6 tickets, this could be helpful. Like it would be helpful, but it's probably going to be insanely helpful with your, like, how many tickets do you have? I know you're going to tell us, but like...
Yeah, so we're coming up on this portion right here of the ticket optimizer where I got to put my ticket numbers in. So
this is, I mean, ATurtleDude, do you know anyone else who has hoarded this many tickets?
It was like 150 of each type, right? Something like that. No, I'm not sure. I'm sure there are people out there, but I couldn't tell you. You're pretty sure you don't need any normals and supers, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There's no way trying to get top 100 or top 10 run that we're using any supers or normals.
Okay, so 160 high-end drivers.
163.
I guess what you should also do is taking. I don't know if you. I mean, that's what you have right now. But have you already gotten all the rewards for this tour? Also, take into account that if you win week 1, you'll get some cap tickets. A glider, I believe, is this week.
Yeah, drivers next week.
And then you might want to, I mean, you'll get something from Daily Select, those you cannot predict, but if you have enough to buy from the tier shop, it might make a difference. Maybe it won't, to consider these additional tickets, but sometimes just one ticket enables a completely different upgrade.
Yeah.
So
I haven't gotten the like premium plus challenges that they just like brand new introduced to the game.
It's brand new to the game.
As featured in the news.
I'm still kind of like weighing whether or not, you know, I like take advantage of this brand new thing that has been made available. But actually, so we'll just go ahead and assume that I get 3 more of those tickets, the driver tickets from the Premium Challenge Plus. Oh, it might actually be 4. We'll just say 3. And then let's just go ahead and put like an extra 2 of the driver and cart. Because, you know, I'm getting stuff in the daily selects and stuff like my shop. So
yeah.
And the reason why he's not taking into account the tour challenges is because he's already unlocked the entire tour with his stars.
Right. So that was one of the things that
I saw that.
You opened the app. All of those tickets, they're showing in
and the token shop as well. There's one driver ticket in the token shop. I assume you already have it.
I already got that one. So I currently have 144 driver tickets, but I'm going to assume that week 2 I'm going to get 8, so that's going to put me at 152.
But is it driver tickets this week? No, week 2, but week 2 you'll have 1 hour.
That's right. Good catch. Okay, so just want to do the 144, and so it's just the glider cap tickets that I want to account for. So I've got 164 currently, so on plus 8 is going to be 172. So by no intention did I try and like match up. I guess I did a little bit with my cart and glider. Like I think gliders I was a little bit low on, so I'd only buy glider tickets. But as far as like the uncapped tickets, I didn't
just like
try and get within 1 of each other. So I pretty much have the same type of resources for for carts and gliders, and then a little bit more on the driver ones because I've been focusing on kind of obtaining those a little bit more. And then I just have 144 of.
Right. Anything you're intending to buy from the tier shop that you know for sure you'll get the driver tickets both weeks or next 1 week, or not necessarily?
Yeah, so I actually only have 163 of the driver tickets and 136 and 136.
Okay, so you're assuming those 3 come either from premium challenges or from the shops.
Yeah, so
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I just kind of like put a few more out there. But
I don't think it will make a massive difference, to be honest. It can make it insert if you're really at the limit, but and for that actually the best way, although it's a bit cumbersome, is to add 2 more driver tickets, see what happens, and then remove them and add 2 more car tickets and so on. But let's leave it as that. These battle core settings, if you're familiar with the DKR sheet, there's a column where you can add a WF, and if you do that, then it does a different calculation from the regular one. So I think it considers less actions that you don't, but then it gives you the well thought. You can just leave it as it is, I think.
If I get a well fought, it's a pleasant surprise, but there's no way that I'm trying to get 400 actions in 90 seconds. So
the boomerang handicap is something I just added yesterday. Not just for you, but because there are so many boomerang drivers in the Bowser Tour, and many people complain about that. So start running it, and then we can talk about that. Good idea. So the idea here is that rather than, we'll see later that it's also possible to exclude individual items. If it's the optimizer is telling you to invest in the gold sushi racer or something that you really don't want to invest on, even if it's great for this tour. But then the other problem is that the ticket optimizer implements the formulas, the score formulas from the DKR sheet 1-to-1. And one drawback of the DKR sheet is that it doesn't consider driver size, and it doesn't consider card size. So for the DKR sheets, Gold Dry Bones and Meowser will give you the same score, and same as with the I don't know, one of the eggs and the off-roader. So obviously that's something that it cannot take into account, because the original I wanted it to be really to always give you exactly the same score. So therefore, yeah, we might have to limit something, but let's see what it's suggesting.
All right, so this was
Ooh.
so this first one. So we didn't see this upgrades tab before, because before we didn't put any tickets in. We were just looking at my inventory as is, and so there weren't any upgrades, so this tab wasn't there. But we'll notice that
a lot of me's.
We've got a lot of Boomerang. So we got PD Piranha, Larry Me, Bronze Me Racing Suit,
DK Gladiator.
Oh yeah, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, the top 4, which are
sounds like an awful
total of
weeks.
way too many courses for boomboxing.
And Luigi Knight further down, also 284 for 5 courses.
So it's a lot.
Yeah.
So this is kind of good to see what the total score is going to be. So now we move up from 2.9 million now to 3.27 million. And we can see like the overview by courses. So this is cool because it tells you what your current loadout is, and then if you were to upgrade the various items, then these would be those items that would be upgraded. And then you see over here the improvement. So like this one's like 20k because I've got Donkey Kong Gladiator at 1. Like all of my drivers on Bowser's Castle 4 are level 1. So taking something up to 8.3 is going to give us a ton more points, right?
Yeah, there are some where you barely improve at all. Like if you look at the fourth track, can you open it again?
Yeah.
There you already have basically max loadouts, and it's actually telling you to use the bronze mist, probably because the estimate for Boomerang is like 1 action higher than for Coinbox, but of course. But what I wanted to say is here. So yes, here it's suggesting to upgrade the bronze mist racing suit, but it's not suggesting it just because of this. So it's not like it will improve you on 4 tracks. It's basically what it maximizes is the total of all these green improvements that we see at the right. So even if the bronze mist suit didn't have this track, it would probably still be up in the list, because there will probably be some other uses down there where it's significantly improving your score.
Right. Yeah. So I'm eager to use your new
I would say before doing that, since it takes a while to do every run, maybe also, I mean, yes, let's use the new feature for the Boomerang, but maybe also have a look at the carts and gliders and see whether, first of all, whether there's something that you definitely don't want to do there, or some other investment that you definitely want to do and is not being shown. You had mentioned you already had some upgrades in mind. For example, I mentioned the Gold Sushi Racer just as an example, but it looks like it's obviously debuted in this tour, so obviously it has some usage, but it's pretty useless probably outside of this tour. So I don't even know what its hitbox is.
So good point, because let's go ahead and take at the Gold Sushi Racer, because I think I reached out to you a couple weeks ago, and we had a little discussion about this. So Gold Sushi Racer, I currently have...
just select it and search in the page with Control F.
Okay.
So it's there at the far right it says it's being used 6 times, but as I just said, those 6 might be misleading. So for example, here it's substituting the red off-roader, but actually you were going to, it's telling you also to upgrade the red off-roader to 8.4. So actually this one we can just discard. Yep. Sometimes it chooses discard over the red off-roader if the skill is a bit better, because on the DKR sheet, if a card has like mini turbo plus, then it's better than a card with rocket start, and it will give you like 10 more points, and that's enough for the optimizer to say this is a better option. But of course it doesn't consider a hitbox, so that one we can ignore. The one where it's with the warrior wagon can also be ignored. So those are 2 actually. We're down to 4 possible uses. That one is a good one, and
That one would work.
Yeah.
you would need to see what else is there on that track. And this one doesn't count.
One.
Silver Kings.
This one doesn't count. Yeah, so effectively it's only helping you on one track.
Yeah.
But it's probably a track where which means you could upgrade any other cart on that track. Which one was it again? The
Bowser Castle 3R.
Bowser Castle 3R. And yeah, you have the gold frog, black carriage, the green Mark II. Green Bidasher Mark II would probably be better. It's a better hitbox.
He'll have the Silver King that's already maxed.
You don't have the Silver Cupid's arrow?
So this is your Bowser Castle. There's no apostrophe S.
Oh, sorry.
What did you say?
Silver Cupid arrow you don't have. You haven't invested in it. That's a good card which has a decent hitbox, so you could use it instead of the Gold Sushi Racer.
Very good point. And kind of later in the episode, we're gonna go over. I'm more of like a tactile. I like my hands on the data and be able to like see and compare things, and so that's why I still kind of use the trackers. But I think it's good to use the optimizer and the trackers in conjunction with one another to really kind of get like a good feel for what investments will help the account, but also that I want to do, right?
Yeah.
And so to your point, on this Bowser Castle 3, the Silver Cupid's arrow, I just have at 3-0 right now. Later in the episode,
and you probably have the Gold Sushi Racer also at. Is it also at 3-0? Because then I'm wondering why it's upgrading this one and not the other one.
So the gold hop rod is at 3-0, and the crawly cart, the red crawly cart is at 3-0. And then I have a super at 5-0. But so the cleanup
okay
at 5-0.
Yeah, anyways, I mean, this takes a bit of time, but it's worth it to go through this to see how many upgrades are, because sometimes how many upgrades are actual upgrades. Some of them are like what we saw with the red off-roader, where it seems like it was an improvement, but you don't see that actually there. You don't see that you're already investing in the red off-roader. Some are others where it maybe increases by a few hundred points, but you could just ignore that, and then if it comes down to only one track, then of course it's better to just decide based on hitbox and or general coverage by using the tracker. So of course the optimizer doesn't know anything about coverage in other tours. Well, it knows, but it doesn't use it now.
Okay.
What you can also do is to maybe for using this as an example, if you maybe go back, go back and did you write down what the estimate was? That's maybe that
3.27. Yeah.
Okay. This again. Maybe go back to your inventory so that I can show this other. At the maybe on the Google Sheets, that's easier. Look for the Gold Sushi Racer. And by the way, something I didn't say in Anti-Left sheet, in Anti-Left tracker, I think you only have 4 columns, and here there's this extra column that shows you so the other 2 are level and caps, and the last one tells you what's your progress towards the next level. So for example, the Rainbow Pipe Buggy, it's at level 4, but you only need 1, and you've got 1 dupe after that. So that takes it into account, of course, and you need less tickets to take it to 5 than if you had a 0 there. Mm-hmm. And so that's something that is, if you do this by hand, it will take forever. And so if you go to the Gold Sushi Racer, you can add a new column in F, where you can just say, either you could remove it from your inventory, but you could also just say, even if you have it, it's okay. You could, in column F, it's maybe better to just say also a 1 or even a 4, where you're saying, I'm not willing to take it higher than 4. Because that way it won't be removed from your inventory. In this case, it probably doesn't make a difference, but there might be other items that you might be willing to use as they are, or you might be willing to take them to 6, but not any higher. And like this, you can put limits with columns F and G. You can put limits on the on the levels and on the caps that the optimizer is allowed to use. Obviously,
cool.
by doing this, the score usually decreases because you're by setting these artificial limitations, the estimate decreases, but it gives you a lot of control. So now you'll have to select the whole thing again, and that's why I told you to come here, because doing this in that text box is a bit difficult.
Yeah. So I also want to take the opportunity to, when I was looking in trackers and doing scenarios where I take certain gliders up to like full max, I actually didn't even have the Fire Manta glider in my inventory. Thank goodness it's in the Spotlight shop this week. But it ends up being, once I max it out, I think it ends up being like my number 2 glider in the game.
So you've already bought it now, or because it's, or you bought it last tour already before we did this upgrade, or you added that one there. Okay.
Yep. So I ended up buying it in the Spotlight shop yesterday. I had to do one quick ticket, refresh, but it showed up, and so I bought it, and so then I came back here, and now it's here.
And out of curiosity, was now the run that we made, was it recommending the Fire Manta?
It wasn't.
It wasn't, okay.
Yeah, so I want to kind of tell it to pay attention to it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So if I kind of lie on the sheet and say, I'm actually interested, I like the glider, I like its view box, I like what it does for my account overall, even though technically I still have it at level 1, I can come in here and say, well, it's actually at 6.2, so let's see if it shows up on the radar of the ticket optimizer.
So then are you going to deduct those tickets from your potential tickets to spend?
That would be smart.
Okay.
So that's 9 and 6.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go over here, and now I'm going to highlight column F and go all the way down because we added that limiting, or that level that we want it to go to. We'll copy this, and then
Control A is probably faster just to remove it.
So then we'll delete it, and then Control V to paste. Cool. All right, and now can we also, okay, so we have to take away how much it was? 9
glider tickets, well, 9 level up, and 6 of the others.
6.
And maybe one more thing. Yes, we can start doing this. So what this does, I just added it, and basically it's I started explaining it but didn't finish. What it does is it assumes that it basically artificially, so the optimizer uses all these action counts that you see everywhere that DKR calculates, that he uses on his sheet, and they're the ones that you see in the ACR bot and so on. So these targets in actions. And what you can do here is, for example, set a 90 and said, I usually don't, or my percentages for boomerang are lower than those for the other skills. I wouldn't set it so low, because the thing is, it should be relative to the other skills. Because, for example, if you usually get, I don't know, 95% with coin box, and it's important to think that it's 95% of the actions, not of the score. Sometimes, especially if the track has over 200 actions, as you well know, you might have 90% of the actions might give you 95% of the score. I think 90 is a good number to set here, and I've set it, by the way, in such a way that if by doing this handicap it goes lower than the baseline, which is just double coin frenzy or whatever non-plus kills, then it will round back up to, so that boomerang drivers are not punished, are not considered less worthy than something that doesn't have any plus kills. Okay. Anyways, I think this will, this is
okay, so we'll try
let's see what happens with this, and okay.
So I have a question, because I'm perfectly fine. I've already invested in the Laramie suit, which is boomerang, and I think he only has like 5 or 6 courses, which is stomachable. Like 5 or 6 out of a whole tour is okay. But leveling up like 4 or 5 new boomerang drivers to 8.3 or 8.4 and adding like 15 to 20 more tracks, like I'm totally not interested in. So I'm curious if by putting this default to 90, will it treat my level 1, 0, and level 8, 3 boomerang drivers equally? Will it not will it try and find something else besides Larry Me, even though I'm okay with using him on those few tracks that he's available? Or is it just going to kind of do like a whole sweeping hand and take them all out?
Yeah, we'll see. Something else to keep in mind is that the score estimate that it will give you is obviously going to be lower because now it's even if the upgrades were the same. So maybe let's look at that one.
3.27.
3.27.
So 3.22.
Not too bad, and this is with different upgrades, and also assuming that boomerang drivers will give you smaller scores.
Yeah.
There are still a few, but not that many.
Yeah, so
50,000 points for 2 weeks of sanity.
Right.
I mean, not if you're going for top 10. You can't have that mentality, but
right. So it looks like it didn't keep Larry. It didn't put 12 tickets on uncapped tickets to get him to 8-4. But it did take the bronze me.
Yeah, and the Bowser me suit, which is interesting because that's a non-plus. That's Bowser shell. It would be cool probably for you to max it, but that's what happened. If the 90, I mean, depending on which track we're talking about, on some of them, 90% of the boomerang actions might well be less than what the Bowser me suit would get, and then for score. As far as score is concerned, then now the Bowser on many tracks, the Larry suit at a max Larry suit might be giving you the same estimate as the Bowser suit, which I think is not great because the thing is with boomerang, even if you're not boomboxing, you will probably always get something better than even if you just do boomerang frenzies, you still do get higher score than with coin frenzies.
Right.
Especially in this second track, the second rank track, the GBA Bowser's Castle 1 RT, that's crazy. That one I just checked. The coin box estimate is like 190, and for boomerang it's like 215 or something like that, because there are just so many coins. There are tons of ramps full of coins, and a couple of boomerang frenzies there already give you way more than coin box, even without boomboxing. But that's hard to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very.
Yeah, so it's interesting that it did take my PD Piranha. So this is where I get torn because I see Chemic here at 8-3, and then PD Piranha Me Suit, which currently is
1-0.
1-0, and it says to invest 22 level up tickets and 16 uncapped to get it to 8-3.
Can you search up all the PDs and see which races it's on?
Yeah.
Like kind of like we did with the.
So
because if it's that many tickets and it's only giving you a slight advantage.
I mean, here it's giving you 12,000 increase, and
that's
good with it.
Yeah, so this was Penguin Toadette, which is just kind of like a fail-safe. But it looks like it's just those two. Yeah. And
but the thing is also now with your inventory for this tour, there will be lots of them. Like also Toad Tourist is taking it from 7-3 to 8-3 for just one track. And I mean, there just aren't that many items on which you can invest that will give you 10 new tracks. So
right.
I guess you get diminishing gains when you already have such a good inventory for this tour.
Yeah.
When you were looking before we did the boomerang handicap, essentially of like 90, was PD Piranha still being told to be invested in this high?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically,
it was probably been at 8-4.
Okay.
Now it's taking a bunch of non-Mies also, a Toad Tourist, Mario Tuxedo, and PT, Gold PT.
Yeah.
Can you look at the cards? Is the gold sushi thing gone? Yes.
Yeah.
And the what was the other one? The fire manta is still not there. So maybe now you could leave it as it is, write down the score, go back, and then force the Fire Manta to go to 8-4 and see how it decreases.
Okay. All right. So, yeah.
I mean, of course, that takes a lot of time, but
Yeah.
that's the way to go with this. I mean, many people use this optimizer and then look at these purple or pink results and say, no, that's I don't like that. But to actually take advantage, its best use is if you actually do lots of iterations and a bit more analysis that cannot be done all automatically. So this thing that you did with the Fire Manta, if you scroll down where there are all these green things, there's this box that says select all at the top. And basically that will just assume that every item that is obtainable in this tour is in your inventory at level 1. And then, because sometimes there's something that you just haven't thought about, there may be some super obscure card that you don't own. And by selecting this, if it's obtainable in this tour, either in the Spotlight shop or as a paywalled item or whatever, then it will just assume it's in your inventory and it will consider it for the optimization.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's amazing.
This is available only for the current tour, not if you want to plan for tours in the future.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Because we don't know what the Spotlight shop is going to be. I guess I could know all the other stuff, although some Spotlights have also changed, as we've seen. But yeah, it's can be practical.
Very cool.
Yeah, let's go to the tracker.
Yeah, it's good that we covered that. So I kind of want to transfer over to Bam Gerb's and Reichenbach DKR tracker that I'm just most familiar with. There's a lot of other Mario Karters out there that have their own kind of versions, and they all have kind of their strengths and weaknesses. And for some reason, just over time, I've just grown accustomed to the BGR version. But here you can see in this import-export, this is the same deal as what we were using for the ticket optimizer. So this is where you would actually copy your updated values and stuff to be able to put into something else. And if you're going from one tour to another, you can copy your inventory from one and then go into a new sheet and then kind of paste it in there. So the one thing that I was noticing over here, if we pull up the drivers, so let's do this. One of the reasons why I like the Bam and Gerbs is they have the icons of all of your items. So for me, like the ones that don't have the icons that are like the pictures, I have a hard time like understanding like if this number is associated with an item that I don't care about or I do care about, whether to ignore it or you know, like filter it out. So it's kind of just a nice, easy way to be able to see that. So here we've got, I've just filtered now for just ACR and then ranked 1 and ranked 2 that are in the Bowser Tour. So it's only coming up with the courses that are available in this tour. All right, so I've gone through and done some kind of preliminary upgrades. So like the Larry Me Racing Suit, it's in my account 8.3, but in the tracker, I've changed it to 8.4. Same with some other things, but overall, it's interesting that, so if you can see over here on the left-hand side, these are all my drivers. If we were to kind of filter out all of the really high guys right here. Interesting thing is all of these tracks that I'm kind of weak on, so I've got like Penguinette on Bowser Castle 3T, Bowser's Castle, and so I've got these 4 tracks that, ironically, the Iggy Me Racing Suit has all of these tracks.
Huh.
And so instead of, I guess my thought process is if I already have invested in something at like 8.3, I would much rather take it to 8.4 and help out the account this tour and then try and find like where the holes are and then plug them up. Instead of taking, you know, like Donkey Kong Gladiator from like 1 to 8.4, or some other like some other combination of drivers to be able to get like that high score.
Just get one more track.
Yeah. So anyway, in the tracker, when I saw that these were all of my kind of like deficient courses and how the Igimi racing suit covers all 4 of them, if we take this Iggy to 8 and 4, Igimi racing suit actually becomes my number 3 driver in the game because it gives me 35 courses that I would use him on. Even more than like Larry Me racing suit and like the question mark block Me racing suit.
Huh.
So anyway, I feel like if I were to just, let's go ahead and select all now. So if I just take Iggy to 8.4, then we see that I've got everything now at 8. And I don't have to like worry about the different combinations of random things that I may or may not want to invest in. However, that comes at a price because this is with the Iggy Me racing suit considered, and then getting all my carts and gliders to 8.4. It looks like my estimate is at 3.17, which is lower than what we were getting over on the ticket optimizer. Yeah, 3.2, where it wants.
Although again, this 3.2 it's actually higher in reality, because this had the boomerang handicap, I think, and the DKR sheet doesn't have it. The DKR sheet has a general handicap, but not by skill. So you can just choose a handicap to apply to all tracks, but not just to boomerang. So it's a bit hard to compare. Well, no, it's definitely lower, but I mean, if your top 10 seems to be out of reach anyways, even with 100%, you wouldn't get to the current estimate.
So if we hop over to Discord, we're in the Frenzy Fan of Discord in the ACR Projections channel. Shout out to Rashid for his help in the community for doing these ACR projections every tour. Today's the first day, so obviously things can get mixed up. However, they end up shaking out. But the initial top 10 prediction is 3.35 million.
Blows my mind.
What's
the highest it's ever been up to now?
It's probably this one. I mean, well, the highest estimate, but yeah, the highest cutoff has probably been 3.1, at most 3.2.
Yeah, so I guess we could probably go back.
Just scroll back up. Maybe.
1 Yoshi
3.2,
3.3 on the Ninja Tour, which is kind of.
But that one increased a lot, right? It started at 2. It started at 3.2.
3.2, and then ended.
It went up a lot. Yeah.
So if behavior is the same here, this could get up to like 3.4.
Yeah. So, yeah, none of the versions of my inventory have even come close to knocking on the door of 3.35. Looks like with top 100 at being 2.88, that's definitely going to go up. I'm thinking that I'm just going to be tooth and nail for top 100.
Yeah.
So, and here's the thing, is these accounts that are getting the 3.35, they are using 0 normal drivers. Everything is me suits at 8.4. In order to be able to get up there, it's all the differentiating factor is the base points, and base points for carts and gliders are fixed once you're at 8.4 across for all of them. So the only variable left is your base points that get added for your driver. And so the accounts that are actually reaching this are all, they're using nothing but me suits. And I haven't played the game like that. I was looking at some of the upgrades, and if like even taking the question mark block me racing suit, it cancels out like 3 of my Bowser courses. So
Yeah.
like I will not be racing Bowser Santa at all, and it takes away 2 of my Meowser ones.
And that just makes you sad.
Yeah, like if I were to go through with like actually trying to get the highest score possible, I think I would use a Bowser character once out of all 45 characters for the Bowser Tour. And as big of a Bowser fan as I am, like I really want to drive my Bowser characters.
You're more, excuse me, you're more of a Bowser fan than you are a top 10 fan.
Yeah. So I guess when it all comes down to it, right? These tools are amazing. They help us figure out which different ways and combinations to be able to apply our resources for to be able to get the score that we can possibly achieve, you know, if we put in the time and effort for it. But in the end, I kind of feel like it really comes down to like your account and how you enjoy playing the game, really.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, also, it kind of be super, like, I'm grateful for these tools because I like to have a happy husband. And if you had invested like over 300 tickets in certain things thinking, I'm definitely going to get top 10 because I invested so much, there's no way I'm not going to get it. And you depleted your entire ticket stash and you're like, what? I barely made top 100? You'd be grumpy.
Yeah.
All week.
Yeah.
All year.
So
It'd be a lot of grumpiness.
And you know, I kind of knew this coming in. Like if you go back to some of our Frenzy Fans episodes when people were saying like Frenzy Fanboy's gonna go for a top 10 in the Bowser Tour in 6 tours. I was like, you guys, it's so crazy hard. Like I just kind of put in like my own goal of trying to reach 3 million because I think that's admirable. There are very few people in the community that have been able to reach 3 million. I don't even know if I'm still going to be able to reach 3 million if I do the upgrades the way that I want. I'm still going to have to get like 95%, maybe 96.
What was your estimate with the Iggy? If you upgraded Iggy, it was 3.1 something.
So let's see here. Oh, okay. Yeah, so 3.17. So
17. That would be 94%.
Yeah. Which for me is taxing. Like I don't have the Game Genie hooked up to my account and you know getting the 3 frenzy runs the majority of the time with like super chill, relaxed bots. Yeah, all that to say, the tools are amazing, but really when it comes down to it, it's how you want to play the game and what you feel comfortable with investing in and just kind of move on from there. I was hoping to be able to kind of switch over to my phone and maybe do some upgrades, but in Frenzy Fangirl's phone's blowing up, so I think we'll do a different episode that's just, you know, we've done all the analysis and now it's like ticket time party, right? Or, you know, ticket spending party. Can't say ticket time. I think it's a registered trademark. Sorry, Matt. Sorry, Flo. But anyway, yeah, I think we'll do another episode probably later today or tomorrow where we'll actually kind of go through and throw some tickets around. So cool. Well, thank you so much, ATurtleDude, for helping out with stuff on this episode and off the episode and just all the amazing brain power and work that you've put into making this part of the community what it is, and we just super appreciate you.
Really, really happy to have been here, and I think it was good fun and hopefully useful for many people who watch.
Absolutely. I know that there are several people, you know, even Sammy said on his stream that he was looking forward to the episode just to be able to kind of see the tools in use and have questions come up and answered. So hopefully it'll be a video that will be helpful for lots of people.
It was helpful for me because I'm definitely going to be reaching out and giving you my friend code to, yeah. It's going to save me so much time. We'll do a whole other episode on just me doing this.
That would be yeah. Cool. All right. Well, so we usually like to end our episodes with a thankful, grateful, made you happy. But we'd like to allow you the opportunity to go first since you're our guest.
I'm thankful for having been invited because I think it's, as you said, having this on video is useful. I don't think I would ever want to make a video by myself, just explaining all this stuff. But it's certainly useful to have it as reference for when next time someone asks me how do you use it, I can just refer them to your video, and it's a win-win for everyone. And you get a few more views, and I get I don't get to explain so much.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm so thankful about we've been having really nice weather here after a long, grueling winter. So I'll try to go out now for a few minutes before it.
There you
while
go.
it lasts.
Yeah. So this isn't my thankful, grateful, made me happy. But last night I was on my phone, just in like one of our rooms, and I was doing all the spreadsheet and ticket optimizer stuff. And I was like, it's a beautiful day and I want to go walking. It's a mobile phone.
Yeah.
So I put on my walking shoes and my walking stuff, and I just went out to our park. It was past like sunset, but the lights come on in the park, and there's this loop that goes around the park. Every like 3 laps is a mile.
I was at a girls' night, so you're
Yeah, and so I was just doing all of my stuff as I walked 5 miles and was just doing ticket optimizer stuff, and the weather was just so nice. The stars were out, and it was calm and warm, but like not too humid and icky. So yeah, it was amazing. So I can totally relate with you on when the weather's nice, you got to go out and just kind of bask in it for a little bit.
Absolutely.
Do you have one, or do you want me to go?
Go for it.
Okay. All right. So I don't know about you guys. I thought it was fun. Sammy D, he normally isn't a sports guy, but I guess growing up he was like a real big Knicks fan, and the Knicks are doing really, really well this season. And so he's been talking about, like, all of a sudden out of the blue, like how interested he is in NBA and the Knicks and stuff. And like not just the Knicks games, but it's just the first round of the NBA playoffs.
It's so good.
And all of these matchups are just insanely good.
Yeah.
Like, granted, there are a few, like the Celtics and Heat, that, we can probably bypass, but there are so many good games that are going to like buzzer beater shots and like huge, like, lead swings, and it's just blowing my mind how entertaining, like every single night. It's like, oh my gosh, like what do we have in store? And
Denver was fun to watch.
It's just been so much fun to be able to just see like our favorite teams just do so well, and even teams that we don't normally follow, like we watch the games just because the athleticism is just, it blows my mind, and I just get a kick out of it. So once a year when NBA finals and like an NCAA tournament comes around, I get super excited about it. So
well, mine's not boring, but I had like my best friend in the entire world come into town yesterday.
That's definitely not boring.
And so we like we're business friends, but like she was like a client, and then she became my best friend. And we just worked all day and like just giggled all day, and it was so much fun.
There was
like
a lot of giggling going on.
It was so much fun. Hope we weren't too loud for you.
Oh no, you're fine. Well, cool. Well, again, thanks.
All right.
For joining, and we really appreciate your time, and again, all that you do for the community.
Yeah.
And
same for you guys.
Stay tuned for another video where we actually spend tickets on the stuff that we've decided to upgrade. And until that video, may the frenzies be forever in your favor.
See you guys later.